obviously, if you're following crypto news and regulation, you can't get away from SEC Chair Gensler, Gary Gensler. He comes out with lots to say about blockchain and crypto as a whole, and regulation and securities. And so one of the latest things in regards to, he has a lot to say, is him coming out and proclaiming that Bitcoin is the only crypto or digital asset, or I don't even call it what it is, just calls it Bitcoin. If there's Bitcoin, we don't know what it is. It's just Bitcoin. There is Bitcoin. And then there are securities, but everything other than Bitcoin is a security, which that's got to be huge for Bitcoin lovers, or for Bitcoin, the blockchain technology itself, because in that is an admission that you can't consider Bitcoin a security. It's in a class all of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
now, because years ago when we first started talking about this, and many people, even not that long ago in mainstream media or even among his crew, Bitcoin and blockchain, it was all considered beanie babies and all considered just a fad and some temporary thing, not some sustainable technology that was of any value or any use. And now we're on the SEC, and we're talking about there is Bitcoin is in a class of its own, but then all these other things allegedly are securities. So
Which is interesting because there are other proof of work tokens and blockchains that would be, would seem to fall in that category of being like Bitcoin, unlike a proof of, like, that don't seem to get a pass here. So it's you question, well, what is the law what's the interpretation that's being applied, and what are the standards that he's looking at? Because it seems to be like, well, why Bitcoin?
and why not Bitcoin, right? Why is that one not considered a security? His definition is includes any investment contract in which an individual invests money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits solely from the efforts of others. And to define the growth of blockchain and cryptocurrencies to fit this is very, very, very loose. First of all, to call those who are mining a blockchain or staking a blockchain to call that an investment contract is already kind of a loose new interpretation, when people are just now learning how proof of stake works. I mean, when you stake proof of stake, you're giving up a claim to something in real time that is used to create, like, security, like hiring a security guard or putting an armored car out there to take your funds from one location to another. When you're staking, you're actually creating the security that's necessary for blockchain transactions to function.
It's
So
like
and it's
mining
all done
without buying hardware.
without my heart, and it's all done by code. So this idea, there's no intermediaries to give it up to somebody else, and with the expectation of profit solely on the efforts of others. Well, the idea that people hope for network effects and more adoption of a chain, to say that that's the same thing as a company where people are going out there with the bottom line, and they're laying
It's a
pipes
stretch.
or they're building widgets, and you're putting your money into another company, that's a huge stretch. And I don't want to say disingenuous, but it shows a real lack maybe of understanding of the innovation of blockchain technology and what makes a lot of these networks so unique and so valuable. I think it's interesting. Something else to say is that if he's calling it's interesting to call all of these things securities, when not that long ago, all of this stuff was all nonsense and all like we said, Beanie Babies, it was just this temporary fad. It was something not to be taken seriously, you know, on if you were to watch some
Yeah,
mainstream news channel. What do you think of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin? And people would laugh and
it's
joke.
trash.
And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden they're considered to be securities. And this whole time, by the way, if you didn't know, you've been trading in securities. It's like, whoa, where did all this all of us
Yeah.
sudden all these people flipping up their phones and laptops and trying to be a part of a new, completely new technology and build this really high risk new industry, and then be told, oh, by the way, we see it's grown a little bit and all of you are engaged in financial transactions of securities illegally. It's like that's a little that's a little messed up. I would just say that that's not cool. Not cool, man.
Well, you have a I guess I don't know if it's possible. Yeah, it's complicated. Yeah, it definitely seems to be a change. A change has been made at some point, and we'll see how that all shakes out. But it seems the Bitcoin maxi position, at least from the SEC's, the direction they're heading, that seems to be a safer bet. But then again, you never know what other commodity or what other definition could be applied to Bitcoin, and what other agency could be Bitcoin could where it falls into the purview of the CFTC, that could be another. So it might not be that Bitcoin's necessarily the chosen one as much as it is it'll fall under a different set of guidelines. But I guess we'll find out.
We don't know. There's not enough information at the moment. It's kind of nonsensical. I mean, there's no rhyme to the reason. You
Right.
don't
It does seem
understand.
to be a little arbitrary.
Is it proof of work, proof of stake? What's your definition of decentralization? And we'll have another video for those who want to know more about the intricacies of staking, which I know sounds like a lot of fun. But a lot of this shows a lack of understanding of how nuanced staking in general is. I mean, when you talk about decentralization, for some applications, you can achieve a level of decentralization with staking or a staking mechanism that you couldn't with the proof of work mechanism, because it could be based on the code. Like we'll talk about some other chains,
And
but
miners and mining can be centralized, pretty easily.
oh, well, as far as who has access to the cheapest power and the most expensive or the nicest hardware, you can already see large Bitcoin mining farms being centralized. So it's not like every individual man and woman with a pulse out there walking the earth has equal access to participate in the creation or the support. And there are applications being built, being proof of weight. We've talked about similar things, proof of weight, proof of time. But there are other mechanisms of security or inflation, I would say, not security, that allow for more decentralization that could be achieved by building a layer on top of Bitcoin, so to speak. So it is interesting to hear that and not know what is your metric, proof of work, proof of stake, how decentralized,
I mean, because if Bitcoin could seem to fail the Howey test, you are buying something, you could say that's a contract, just like buying ETH, and then you're hoping on that it profits based on the work of others. Well, other people are mining it, other people are going to be buying it and holding it, and marketing it, and if they don't, then it's going to fall in value. So, I mean, if you really want to expand and be expansive on the way you read the Howey test, I don't see really why Bitcoin is anything that different, right? It just has a different consensus mechanism. But really, why is that so important? And if it is, then give us the rules. Tell us what's what, right?
Right, right. And are you saying that layer one blockchains here, actually, here's a precedent that's being ignored, but I read about, it's not something completely ignored because I read about it, but there was an actual court case over LBRY credits, LBRY,
All that.
and it's actually determined that the ICO, the raising of the money originally was considered to be security, raising funds for securities. However, the tokens themselves are not considered to be securities. So people having LBRY tokens or transacting LBRY tokens aren't considered to be transacting in a security. So I think that's more rational. That's more fair. It's talking to the company that was raising funds from a token versus saying, oh, the whole network itself is a security, right? Because
Right.
and we talk about regulation to protect retail versus regulation to stifle innovation. And it would
And the difference.
be, yeah, it would be great to see the SEC and Gensler be a part of regulation that helps protect retail from the FTXs and the Silvergates. Sure, make sure that Coinbase or Gemini or the intermediaries that work for that they have to be careful about which digital assets they offer to retail, that they register openly as securities,
and how they have how they act as a custodian too, right? The laws around
absolutely.
that.
Which Gensler's talked about. Not all crypto exchanges are I think custodians or
Qualified
qualified
custodians.
custodians.
That's
Sure,
yeah.
absolutely. And if they can do something to help make sure that custodians are qualified and protect investors from an FTX collapse, like an FDIC, so to speak, for
Hmm.
crypto assets on those who use those intermediaries. But it should be focused, I feel, very much on the intermediaries, the Coinbases, the Geminis, those who are offering these services, and not attacking
The
Solana
individuals.
or Avalanche or
Right.
Cardano to come out with regulations. And that's the part that's kind of silly and sad and disingenuous. It's like you've got whole populations, you got people all over the world that took risk building these networks, creating these networks, sustaining these networks, building applications of these networks at a time when Genslers and the Yellens and the regulators, oh, don't pay attention to it. It's nothing. And now all of a sudden, oh, all of you guys that have amassed some type of value in the economy because apparently applications are being built on you. Apparently more people are staking on your network. Apparently there is a coin market cap exchange value for a decentralized exchange somewhere and people are swapping Bitcoin for Cardano or for this. So anywhere you can allow for exchanges, you've got prices that form, you've got a market that creates. So there is a market, despite everyone ignoring it for years. There has developed a market cap for different cryptos. And now that they've developed some wealth or that they exist with some amount of value, to come and say, oh, by the way, we're sending you a letter now, you're considered to be a security. It's I think that the rules should be more clear for, and also it should be forward looking and not backward looking. Like if we're looking at people taking risk and building new technologies, new blockchains, new applications, the idea that everyone who's been doing something and building applications has all been engaged in securities. It's like, why not say moving forward, people who are built and secured this way that don't achieve this level of decentralization or that have a foundation or a centralized place somewhere, this is how you're going to be seen. And this is what that seems
And
to
you have to
me,
register or whatever if you want to do that.
that seems to be the best way. And I think fortunately, Gensler and the SEC enforce laws, and there are people in Congress and out there looking to create an infrastructure or a roadmap of laws that will protect people and allow for investment and growth to take place. Because I mean, think about this: if all of a sudden one man could just come along and say, "Oh, by the way," and who knows how invested in Bitcoin he is, or people he works with, or MicroStrategy and others, he come out and say, "Oh, Bitcoin is the only one that's not a security," and all this development we're seeing with smart contracts and NFTs and Polygon and zero knowledge proof identifications and just the amazing things that are being discovered and built in this ecosystem, is all gets a letter and is now all shut down. And this, it's funny, you mentioned this before the video. If you're trying to protect people and protect retail investors, then the last thing you want to do is come out with a law that completely negates the value that has been built up by retail and plummets it and drops it
Right.
to nil or gets rid of it, because now you've literally just wiped out retail. And who does this really benefit? Institutions at the moment, because if you just say, oh, it's only Bitcoin, well, congratulations, MicroStrategy, and congratulations, all of these institutions that have predominantly or only Bitcoin. And
Yeah, that's true. And retail will, as the BIS analysis has shown with the FTX, retail is the one that gets harmed the most. So it's going to be hard to just kill DeFi in the name of protecting retail, but that it could happen.
Hope you enjoyed that clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscription, notification bell if you want to get the latest drops. Of course, all of this is educational, entertainment information to help you in your journey, learning more about blockchain and how to participate. None of this is financial advice, investment advice. However, if you'd like to learn more about blockchain and crypto, we've got plenty of videos and playlists as well that walk you through DeFi tutorials, how to get involved. And if you'd like some more one-on-one help, check out our website, wisebeyondbitcoin.com. We've got plenty of free resources for you to scroll through and check out in your journey, your blockchain crypto journey. Of course, you can also drop us a line. Let us know what you'd like to learn about. Time is money, knowledge is power. Benefit from our experience. Let us know what you'd like to learn more about. We'd be happy to help you. Until the next time, have a beautiful day. Namaste, y'all.